time again. I'm Dr. Pete coming to you live from Sydney. With me is my co-host Jared.
Hi everyone.
And today we've also brought in an extra person to speak to us. This is Fon Hassana. Fon.
Hi guys.
What do you do? Well, and why are you so well dressed?
Well, I'm well dressed because I'm wearing a suit.
He's always raising the bar with the fashion stakes within the office.
So with the t-shirts, you wear the suits.
The polo shirt is my uniform at work, and this guy's constantly.
Yeah, I sleep in it. It makes me get up quicker and ready for work.
It's not Barney Stinson thing happening here.
It's not from Amazon, unfortunately.
So tell our audience, what have you been doing, by the way? Because we've all been joking. We've been working for the marketing team quite a bit. So a lot of work behind the scenes to get this summit going. And what you can't actually see, what's behind us, is this summit floor. Now, we've spent a lot of time together working to figure out and get a theme for this place. So you want to share with our audience what exactly has been the theme for the Sydney Summit floor?
Yeah, so the Sydney Summit floor is the metropolis of the future. So we really wanted to bring to the floor what our keynote speakers are talking about, what the breakout sessions are about, and really have our customers and partners talk about their user stories, their journey to the cloud. So we've got some amazing demonstrations of our virtual concierge powered by Amazon Sumerian.
Which is what? What's Sumerian again?
Sumerian is our VR and AR technology as a platform where you can really augment reality through our services
So you can make the Sumerian virtual assistant, and you can take some selfies, go on Twitter.
You can take selfies. If you want to know what the sessions are, you can ask her.
Nice.
That's an amazing demo. Anyone who's actually streaming this on site or around the ICC area, if you can get access, seriously go over there, take a selfie with it. It's amazing technology.
Yep. It's life size, and she knows more than we do about the sessions actually.
If I want to know where a particular booth is or something, I could ask her and get directions there, where it's a lot easier to ask someone as opposed to just being able to find it on a map that you essentially get, not that one in the passes that we get given. So.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the future looking.
Yeah, keeping to the theme of life-size stuff, we have a giant Echo, so showcasing Alexa.
That's right.
So you can walk into a giant Echo and have an interaction.
So it's an echo chamber, is it?
It's an echo chamber, exactly. Be careful, some people stay in there for a long time. Hopefully they're having some great intimate conversations with Alexa.
So if your kids are misbehaving, you can lock them in there, have a timeout.
Yeah. I got locked in there yesterday, I think.
It does actually have a lock, believe it or not.
Yeah, it does.
Whoa, hang on, is that incoming? Whoa. Okay, all right. By the way, guys, just a reminder that we are live streaming this. Please interact with our moderators. They will throw questions at us and our guests. So Fon, this is a question from... This is a question from Dr. Drink. So, hey, Dr. Drink. The question is, why are you wearing a blue jacket with a black shirt, Fon? That doesn't quite match, actually. It's not your style, is it?
Well, when you're on camera, I thought black on black is the way to go. I'm not an All Blacks fan, so that's all right. But I don't know, really. Maybe I got out of bed and put the wrong colour on.
Okay. But dressed while you're still sleeping.
We call it Summit Brain. There's so many things going on. We wear many hats. I'm an SA manager by day, but today I'm everything. Right? We're running around.
So we're going that way. So we've covered the Sumerian stuff. What's the industrial zone?
So the industrial zone, where we're showcasing a connected factory. So we've got a massive conveyor belt demonstrating how we can detect damaged boxes.
Yeah, so we've got Intel sponsoring that.
We've
got 4 conveyor belts spinning around.
We've got our IoT platform, and we're using some machine learning to recognize patterns around what makes a good box, what makes a damaged box, and there's a console that tells us, and we connect that back into a dashboard where, on a factory or on site, there's a control center. You can see what's going on, and then we can get some analytics as well from that.
So I walked with it earlier, and there was a box that was damaged, and it was picking out that it was a damaged box, right? That was the idea of using AI to establish good box, bad box, broken box.
Correct.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so that's industrial zone.
Yep.
Over that way. What's in the middle?
So in the middle is our main AWS booth. We've got our solution architects there. We've got our technical account managers, enterprise support, training certification. And really, this is where our customers can come have further discussions about the things they see in the breakout.
We've even got a section there for getting started. And I know that there are people out there who are really wanting to have interesting customer conversations with people who are wanting to get started on the platform.
Correct. And we've got obviously a focus on well architected, because we want all our customers to be better architected with best practices in mind.
So just with well architected there, what's well architected all about?
So well architected is a framework that we have for our customers to ensure that whenever they want to deploy or have a workload on our platform, they're considering the best practices we have around security, reliability, cost optimization, operational excellence, and that's depending on your workload and your journey, that might
critical.
be, it's critical. So we want to make sure that you can have the most cost efficient, the most secure and reliable workload on our platform.
And we don't think it's just a type of thing where you can just pick 2 out of 3, for instance. For a long time, you could have either a performance system, a reliable system, or a cost-effective system. Why not have everything?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a balance between all those.
It's a balance,
now, it's also got the largest whiteboard I think I've ever seen at a summit. It's curved.
Yeah.
So I highly encourage you guys who are here watching the live stream, go check out, go doodle with your solution architect.
With whiteboards as our favourite friends, I want to actually take that home.
That's right. All right, so moving on. So over there, our VMware friends.
Yeah, so we have our Cloud Modernization Street, or our CBD activation, and that's our partnership with VMware. And that's really, we have key customers in there like API, Priceline, Sportsbet,
So
Visi,
real customers
there talking about their journey, how they migrated to the
And
cloud.
we've got car sales as well. We've got this awesome AI platform that they built.
So car sales, they're talking about their journey for, their legacy migrations to our platform, but also they're demonstrating how they're using higher level services and new services like AI for their Cyclops technology, which is embedded into their application. That, when they take photos of cars, it reorientates them. It suggests to customers on what photos will make best sales for them when they post ads about their cars.
Okay, all right, and what's to the left of that now? What do we got?
So we've got our marketplace, we've got the Dev Central where, all our developer community can get hands-on with lots of things around the new technologies and serverless frameworks, and we've got some talks on deep dives on technologies such as our Cloud9 platform for IDEs. And we've got the marketplace, which we've got so many partners, and this event would be nothing without our partners.
Partners.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got, obviously we've got VMware, we've got Intel, we've got Deloitte, and we've got a bunch of other partners in the marketplace.
And look what we got over here. Here's our partner.
Did I hear partner? Fantastic. How are we doing, guys?
Good.
Fun. How are you?
Good.
Just to introduce, Adrian DeLuca is the Solution Architect Manager for partners across APAC.
Indeed.
So we can't say partners without you appearing magically out of the woodwork, right? So tell us, what's new with partners?
Well, just talking about some of the stands, I've actually just come from the Australian Software Builders stand.
All right.
There is just some awesome building going on here, guys. I mean, I was overseeing Bright, just awesome, fantastic, homegrown software building happening right here in Sydney and Melbourne, right across, even over in Perth. The entire country's lit up. It is absolutely lit up. Oh, come on. It's halfway the way to Singapore.
So we have a global audience, so some of those jokes across Australia may not work so well across the globe. So what's over in Perth?
But I haven't been there lately. But no, seriously, guys. Just awesome building going on. And the last couple of days, we've also had our partner summit happening. Just really right here at ICC.
In parallel, indeed, right? We had some awards. We made some new announcements, by the way, guys, around some new programs. Right. So what's new for the developer community, the ISVs? What have we got? What have we announced? What can we give them?
Indeed. So, Pete, we've had the partner program now for 5 years here at AWS, and I think we've got some fantastic DevOps partners, DevSecOps partners, consulting partners, managed service partners. But, when we had a look at this just last year, we said, what are we doing for the software builders? Because they can leverage from a lot of the partner program capability. If you look at the startup program, Activate, for example, fantastic at helping you get on the platform. Then it kind of goes, well, what do we do for those that have taken off or started to take off, and how do they start implementing some of the higher order services? So what we announced just yesterday is the TechShift program for AWS partners.
So what is TechShift? By the way, I have a question, by the way, so keep the questions coming. I'm going to hold off and let Adrian finish his message here.
Awesome.
What is TechShift? Why do I care? How, as a developer, what's the value add to me?
Absolutely. So TechShift is all about helping software builders not just bring your wares onto the platform, but to start evolving it.
Okay.
Now, if we look at some of what we do with our enterprise customers, we help them bring their legacy applications. We might even take their commercial databases, put it onto RDS Aurora. But what about helping build cloud-native applications? So the first thing that TechShift does is help you learn some of the mechanisms, some of the best practices that we've learned. ISVs building cloud-native applications. We look at...
So you're talking about fragmenting the monolith, taking a hammer to it and getting microservices out there. What's the developer focus here?
Absolutely. What we see is really the end game being to going towards a SaaS model, is we got to solve some of those identity management issues. You know, data partitioning, provisioning and onboarding, metering and monitoring is also different in a SaaS world. So we teach a lot of those practices. The second thing that we do is we provide us, you know, these awesome solution architects that we have. You know, we actually do well-architected reviews. And we also help co-sponsor, co-market. You know, there is
That's
a
cool.
great...
Okay, so if you build something, we're going to help these guys go to market, get visibility in the ecosystem?
Yeah, and we did some research last year and amongst our partner community, right? And by the way, here in APAC, we just clocked over 10,000 partners. Can you believe that? 10,000.
And this is a 5-year-old program, and now we're
and now customers have an awful lot of choice.
Okay, keep it coming, guys. We want more ISVs. Let's break some more records.
And that's 10,000 just across APAC, right? But what we heard is that partners want to talk to other partners. 92% of partners said, I want to learn and integrate with other partner products. So that's what we've been doing at the Partner Summit. So what we're doing with the TechShift program is actually bringing partners together. So instead of, say, building your own identity management solution, why not use Ping or OAuth or, you know, some of these other partner solution providers that are already platformed on AWS.
But there's a lot of SaaS going on at the moment. Partners are converting the traditional on-premises events, you know, to actually do these things. And there's more and more move for a multi-tenancy in the cloud. You stop sending CDs out to your customers. You move to the cloud.
People still doing that?
Apparently, it does still happen. I have customers who actually still are at that journey just at the very beginning. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's your business model. If that's how you make a living, it's perfectly okay. Now, before we move on, I want to actually ask this question because I know whoever has actually sent this to us is probably pretty keen to hear from us. Oh, look, it's Dr. Drink again. All right. So his Pocket Square is on point.
I think it's on mine.
That's for you again.
Thank you. We have some. I have supporters out there.
All the questions are about the way Fon dresses.
Why aren't you wearing a suit and a tie?
Well, I was, but I lost it. So
I was just going to come back with that a little. I was going to come back a little bit there with. I mean, as an SA, I always go out with customers and we say one of the advantages of the AWS platform is it allows you to remove that undifferentiated heavy lifting from what you're doing.
Yep.
You can focus and specialize on what you're good at and what makes your what drives value in your business. And so this is the same kind of thing that we're working with partners to be able to do. As a partner, you can specialize in what you're good at and then work with other partners to be able to actually offer a more complementary, more well-rounded solution, and you can have their aces in their places.
Yeah, and look, this is a tech show, right? So let me talk a little bit about that. One of the things that we launched at the end of last year is the Sas Quickstart. So
yes,
for those
that's right.
So for those of you who are not familiar with quick starts, I think we did cover some of it, but quick starts are a one-click launch where you basically get, you know, pretty much your application up and running in your own AWS account. Now, what we did is that we created all the necessary VPC, plumbing, subnets,
documentation that goes with it to help you create
identity management, all the CloudTrail, CloudWatch logging, ready for you to bring your application into AWS and start creating that open door or that front door policy. So that is available today, definitely worth checking out.
So as you guys can tell, we have a loud voice inside the partner team. Adrian DeLuca, thank you for hopping on the stage last second. And you know, guys, thanks for all the questions around Fon's dress sense.
If you want to check it out, come down or look at the live stream. And if you want any tips on about how I dress, reach out to me.
Cool, thanks you guys. I'm going to push you off stage and introduce somebody else who's going to join us. Ed has just arrived and is being mic'd up. So, by the way, guys, please keep the questions coming. These guys are going to throw more balls at us. I want to welcome Ed Lenter. Welcome, buddy.
Dr. Pete, how are you?
Very well.
Good to see you.
Yes, so Ed, for those of you who don't know you, who are you, what do you do?
Oh, so my name is Ed Lenter, and I run the Amazon Web Services business across Asia Pacific, which is a great privilege.
It's a real privilege, and you and you actually hired me, by the way.
Is that right?
Can you think back, you know,
Did I do that?
Almost 6 years ago?
It has always been a wonderful experience working with you, Dr. Pete.
Hopefully that was a good choice.
It was a great choice, yes. I've always been in awe of your ability to connect with our developer community in particular.
Which is exactly what we're talking about here today.
Yes.
So we've got a lot of developers tuning in. So we're live on Twitch. Ed, you know, you've had an amazing journey inside AWS. You know, we started together here in ANZ.
It's been an incredible time.
Wow,
it really has.
such a short time frame. You've gone, you've started the global team, you've made some amazing impressions in the cloud ecosystem, and along the journey, you've met so many different developers. So we wanted to get you on the show here to get your take on what's your take on the evolution of the developer community in cloud in particular.
Well, Pete, our CEO, Andy Jassy, he talks about the fact that he believes that Amazon today is the best company in the world to come and build at.
I would agree.
And, you know, in my career at Amazon, I've certainly found that to be the case. I have had the opportunity to build a bunch of businesses. We built our Australian business together, and most recently a business to go and work with the world's largest multinationals to help them and produce and consume technology on our platform. But you know, Pete, wherever I go, I end up meeting with huge numbers of developers, even in the conference this week, which has just been a fantastic conference. Congratulations on all you guys have pulled out. I have to agree with Glenn Gore, our chief architect, who said that there has never been a better time to build.
Exactly.
And that what we've tried to create at Amazon Web Services is a platform for developers. There's a platform for people to build on. If I think about a couple of things that have caught my eye during the conference, is it okay if I share that?
Yeah.
So, you know, what I love, first of all, for developers in the enterprise, I've seen technologies here today that allow developers in the enterprise to implement a tool chain, something like Jenkins, and then to say, I'm not only going to call my code out of some kind of repository and take it through this pipeline process, but at the same time, via APIs, I'm going to call the version of the data center that matches up with that exact version of the code. I'm going to run and test the two together. This whole concept of having to diff your way out of the darkness, that's gone, right? We are now building efficiency in our development process inside of the enterprise in a way that has to just unleash developers to really drive innovation. So I'm hugely excited about that.
And certainly also, you know, really unleashing developers, allowing them. One of my favorite quotes from Andy Jassy is the AWS provides the ability to run experiments, fail fast, and not have to live with the collateral damage of failed experiments. And this is especially important in topics like machine learning and artificial intelligence services.
It is. It is. I mean, if I was a developer today, and I was looking at all the services today that I can deploy around analytics, around machine learning, around IoT, the streaming of data, where the concept of infrastructure doesn't even exist anymore. You know, we've really seen a world where we've gone from the basic atomic unit of innovation inside of the data center being the virtual machine to one where we move to microservices and containers, and now one where we have no concept of infrastructure, where we can leverage services like AWS IoT or Kinesis or Lambda or Athena, and we can move away from any concepts even of availability and latency and patching and operating systems. And I think that's a fantastic place for developers to go and build.
Yeah, I actually look at it as, you know, it's amazing. Oh, hang on, we've got an incoming question. All right, so guys, keep the questions coming. There'll be more balls coming up. So Ed, so we have hundreds, if not thousands of folks.
Throw things
They do. Here, catch.
Throw things back if you really want to.
All right, so we have a question. All right, here we go. This question comes from Cloudy Me Cloudface, and it says, how do Australian ANZ customers compare to the rest of the world when it comes to adoption of AWS technology? Fantastic question.
I think that's a really good question, especially given that you previously, prior to your APAC role, you were in charge essentially of global customers and global customer base.
Yeah. You know, you only have to look around a conference like this. I think it's a 3-day conference. We're expecting more than 10,000 people here at the conference. Way more than that, actually. Way more than 10,000 people at the conference over the next a day and a half. And listen to the quality of the conversations we've been having. This is an industry on the move. This is a technology community, a developer community on the move. But I'd also say, Pete, we're not doing enough.
Okay, how so?
Because I think that we need more startups inside of the Australian community.
Well, we do,
and I think it needs to be easier for startups to be successful here in Australia. And I think that we've all got a lot to do to make sure that we do celebrate the risk takers. We do celebrate people who are willing to try new ideas, get them funded, potentially fail, but take those ideas to market. And when I look at some of the great startup stories like Atlassian or Freelancer or Canva, I want to see 1,000 more of those, so that Australia becomes known primarily not as a resources nation, but as a technology nation and as a startup nation. And I don't think we should rest until we get it to that point.
No. But look, we're doing our bit. We've got a whole entire booth dedicated to our startups. So we've got Wishka and a whole bunch of other guys.
Oh, it's been an amazing conference. It's really been an amazing conference. And the kind of exchange of ideas that we've had around what we can go and build, I've been really enthused about.
Awesome. So, Ed, we're going to wrap up shortly, but what's been the most impressive thing you've seen in the last 3 days here at the summit? Anything that's really been memorable? I know you've had a lot of conversations. You've just sprinted over to see us, so I'm glad you're not sweating too much. But any sort of really lasting impressions?
He doesn't have the Dean's sweat patches on his shirt like we had on
Dean
Tuesday.
The other day, he sprinted, he was sweating.
Because he's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker.
He's a very hard worker.
That's all the heavy lifting.
We've had another question come in.
Right.
So, it continues to be, it continues to be the way in which our customers are using our technology to do amazing things that I'm always amazed by. I don't know if you saw our keynote yesterday, but traditional traditional companies here in Australia that have been underpinning the fabric of our lives here in Australia for years, like Visi, talking about how they're going completely dark inside their warehouses and using robotics and automation to be able to transform their business.
It's impressive.
And then somebody coming to talk about how they're connecting the world by putting microsatellites out in space and then having connectivity from those microsatellites. I think our customers and partners continue to be the source of inspiration for me. We just want to see a whole lot more.
Fabulous. I've got a question.
Yes, I've got a question. Actually, this hasn't come from the Twitch feed. It's been from a customer at the Expo by the name of Laura. Hello.
Hello, Laura. Hey. Nice.
What's your favourite programming language?
What is my favourite programming language? So I have a bit of a soft spot for Grails, but I'm really open to anything that you guys might want to choose.
Cool.
We want to make our platform as open as extensible as possible.
And it's all about choice, right? Whether you program in Java, Node, or Rails.
Yeah.
Or Go.
Is that terrible? Should I not have chosen that?
No, it's okay.
I mean,
it's a religious
more
conversation.
fashionable things for me to choose these days?
Go's kind of getting a bit of attention.
Is that right?
.NET's come to the Linux platform now.
Is that right?
But our developers have a preference.
I think my question for you, Pete, is if you look across the whole range of managed analytics capabilities, managed map and reduce style functions, Hive, Pig, Hadoops, and so on, which is your favorite to apply on a big data set on a Saturday morning when you really feel like you want to get your teeth into a workload?
Right. Great question, Ed. Well framed. Okay, all of the above. And I'll tell you why. All of the above, right? I mean, after being here for so many years, it kind of developed over time, and you've seen us evolve.
Not an answer, Pete.
Okay,
I need you to pick one.
Okay.
Then again, sometimes it's also
I'll give you one.
Tool for the right application.
My favorite at the moment is the S3 Select functionality.
Is that
so? If you've got a big data set on S3 as an example, I'm getting boos over here. Boo. Okay, so thumbs up. No, because you can then, if you've got a large data set, why do you have to retrieve the entire data lake just to do a little query?
Totally
you can select it. You can actually even do it in the console. So if I'm a DBA, and I'm not a big data guy, but I've got all my data sitting in the S3 data lake, I can just run a simple SQL query, run that, it's serverless, and I get my results. So
was that a better answer than the one I gave to programming
I'll leave it to
languages?
the audience. What do you guys think?
I don't know, just a little bit better, do you think? I think I'm totally out of my depth here.
Well, Ed, listen, thank you so much for joining us.
It has been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to have you back again. It's nice to see you back in APAC.
It's great to be back, and thank you to all our customers and partners who are out there on the Twitch channel. We hugely appreciate everything we do, and we look forward to seeing you back at Sydney Summit next year.
Indeed. So, guys, Ed, thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
So, guys, we're going to continue the live stream. We're not wrapping up. We're going to have Dean Samuels. I was going to say high five Ed, but he's gone the other way. So, guys, you are watching the AWS Sydney Summit live stream with my co-host now, Dean Samuels.
Thank you. Great to be here. So, how was it? How was the session before? I just missed it.
You had all the good bits. Ed talking about his favourite programming environments.
Good job.
Cool.
So what's next?
So what's next? Expo floor. Okay, so Dean, you've been walking around a little bit here as well.
I have,
So we
yeah.
had fun here earlier. What has kind of really stood out for you in terms of being out there and seeing what our partners and customers have sort of been talking to us about?
Yeah, so this is probably my, 6th, 7th summit here in Sydney. And
It's not your first rodeo?
It's not my first rodeo at all, no.
You've been here for a while.
Absolutely, and it just amazes me year on year how we can just really raise the bar each time. You just think when you hit a summit like last year, which was so massive, so big, energy was so electric, and then you come to a place like this year, it just topped that. And one of the contributions is really from the partners. You know, we have such a wide range of variety of technology partners that are really doing some really new things with a lot of our services that we never expected before. You've got our consulting partners who are building these solutions, offering it to various customers from startup to enterprise, and just seeing the engagement and the conversation. We're day 2 here, we're approaching lunchtime, but the atmosphere here is still electric. Just like yesterday.
Well, it's actually day 3 because we started.
Oh including the Innovation Day, absolutely.
Right, yeah. But it's still day one. Still day one. We haven't got off.
Absolutely.
Now, listen, over here we've got dev labs and our dev guys.
Yep.
What's been your experience so far with our dev community?
It's been again awesome. The fact that we've got some labs here running, where participants or attendees can come up, they can run through these labs. You've got these experts that are able to help you out with these labs. So if you are here at the event, please come down to this Dev Labs and Dev Central to
really
check
cool,
it out.
right? Because if you've got 10 to 15 minutes, you can actually run through and get a hands-on experience. And by the way, if that's not enough,
we've got something coming up in August, right?
We have a developer event here running in ANZ. It's called Dev Days. Now, we've had Dev Days in the past. And Dev Days is all about developers. It's all about making sure that we are sharing with you guys as much around what's new with AWS for developers, as well as giving you some really interesting examples and demonstrations around what you can already do with some of these awesome services. So we had some guys stream the other day, and we talked about the .NET. You were here, right? We had the .NET conversation about building a custom authorizer in Lambda in .NET Core 2.0, and so if you are up for that kind of thing, if you're in Brisbane and in Melbourne, Australia, watch this space. We're going to let you know that we're coming to you guys later this year.
It's like developers.
Yeah.
I believe it's in August as well, so if you want to start marking off some time in early August, pop it in your calendars and keep an eye out. We'll have some information publicly released about these events very shortly.
Sure. So, and Jared, finally, how about yourself? We've been sort of hiding behind our big, sumo Dean here. How about yourself? What has been your experience around the developers community here at the summit?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's like some of the customer interactions that I've had actually when I have been over at the Dev Labs. We've also had the Dev Bytes talks, and you've seen a lot of the people who have done those Dev Bytes talks come up onto stage, and we've been having great conversations with them as well. And what really strikes me is that a lot of the developers, some developers will be working on with some frameworks and some back-end developers, front-end developers. What really strikes me is the wide variety of different languages, different platforms, different services that developers want to use. And ultimately, I think this is one of the remarkable things about the AWS platform is that regardless of what you want to use, what tools you want to use, what languages, what frameworks and so forth, AWS is a great place to run those.
Yeah, it's so amazing, right? I mean, years ago when we started, some of us as developers, like myself, you'd write assembly language and you go to maybe something like C, and then this plethora of new languages opened up. C, yay!
I started with Applesoft Basic.
Basic, right?
Where does Shell fit in?
Like Delphi, Ball and Pascal. But anyway, then these things evolved, and I kind of look at it as all new things become old again, right? In IT we've had a lot of repetition of technologies, and if you look at AWS platform, in many ways it's like the new operating system, right? You got storage, compute, you can scale out both storage and compute. You got networking, all of these things that generally were on a silicon chip in your old 1 megahertz PC or calculator, whatever you're coding
yesterday, we had Elgin talking about .NET Core 2.0 in Lambda.
Exactly, absolutely.
Who needs to actually be specific and tied down to a specific operating system when you've got these tools, these frameworks that are available to you even in a serverless environment?
I know.
Yeah, it's all about being familiar, right?
Yes.
So, you're using these familiar tools, familiar languages and everything else, all on the AWS platform. You've got a question?
We're from Freddie, and Freddie is a customer executive. Where's Freddie? Freddie. Call out to Freddie whenever you are. Can't spot you. No. Okay. Is Adam Larter going to be at Dev Days? And is he is he at Dev Lounge? Freddie, Adam Larter is absolutely here.
He's somewhere over
there. He is. There he is. Get up here. here. Get up here. All right. Right, we're going to mic him up.
He's worried that he doesn't have makeup. Just show your face.
No, you got your headset on?
I've got nothing.
He's got nothing. All right.
So, but not only that, Adam will be talking later on this afternoon as well about Cloud9 and CodeStar as well. So we will have Adam mic'd up later on this afternoon.
Yep.
Join us a bit later on in the afternoon.
This was really worth getting me up here.
Yes, it was.
But you say,
we
hey,
have to get you.
hi, Mum.
And by the way,
Say hi, Mum.
hi, Mum.
I'm in Slaughter.
Now, the other thing is Adam's one of the key guys behind Dev Days. So if you guys do make it in Brisbane and in Melbourne, or girls, guys is boys and girls.
So they wouldn't have heard that.
Okay,
Especially girls.
Persons.
We are very inclusive here at AWS.
We are always inclusive. In fact,
And
we've got some
again,
people coming on later.
Promoting later on, we are
Talking about these
talking
things.
about diversity at AWS.
Cool. So here's Adam Lada.
Thanks,
He'll be
Adam.
up shortly, and he's also going to be at Dev Days.
I am. Thank you for the invitation.
Perfect. Guys, you are watching AWS Sydney Summit, having fun with Dean, Jared, and Dr. Pete here. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes. We need to do a bio break like everybody else. So guys, stay tuned. Don't flick channels too much. Don't go watching too many other games playing at Twitch at the moment. Please make sure you're back here in a couple of minutes. We are going live.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Peace.